when I was 10 years old, I remember my friend, she invited me to her place and told me that today was a special occasion. And she said that we were going to sit in the dark for 1 hour because she said this was a special day that she called the Earth Hour or the Earth Day. And she told me that right now, in this very moment, people from all around the world are shutting off their electricity and are sitting in the dark with only candles to bring light into their homes. Now, the Earth Day started 50 years ago, back in 1970, when around 20 million Americans went out to speak up for the environment. And Earth Hour has been a tradition since. And I was brought up with that tradition. And I always struggle to remember what day is the Earth Day, which was a bit strange because it's always happened. I didn't know if it was going to happen in the autumn or in the spring. And now today, I have found a smart way to remember when Earth Day is coming up. And I want to share that with you. So I always remembered Halloween, that Halloween was a celebration where you lit candles. And that happens at the end of October each year. And now I know that Earth Day is happening almost exactly half a year later, 6 months later, or more precise, at the 22nd of April, you light a candle for the Earth. So if I just remember Halloween on the autumn and Earth Day on the spring. And it's quite ironical that I remember Halloween because Halloween, if you compare it to Earth Day, is much smaller. Earth Day is huge. And today, the reason why I'm talking about the Earth Day is that we have invited the vice president from the Earth Day network, Susan Bass, who are here to help us understand what it is that this huge nonprofit organization are actually doing, because they're doing so much more than just hosting the Earth Hour. So I want to say, Susan, warm welcome to this interview today. How did you like this introduction, and where are your energy level today?
Great. Well, thank you very much for having me. And I'm really excited to be with you today because we are just about to, as you mentioned, celebrate our 50th anniversary. And we are really trying to engage billions around the world. You mentioned our first Earth Day in 1970 reaching 20 million people, which was about 10% of the population of the US. Well, we are looking to reach about that amount of the global population because today, unfortunately, the challenges we face are global. Climate change, toxics, plastic pollution. So we really need a global movement to take on these challenges.
Mm, that's impressive. And I read that the mission would be to build the world's largest environmental movement. And I'm guessing that's already achieved in a sense. So now it's more a matter of using this movement.
Well, I think people are in different places in the movement. And as the recruiter, we call ourselves the world's largest recruiter for the environmental movement. We've created a plan that we use the acronym SAVE to describe. And we have different pathways of engagement because people are a part of the environmental movement in different ways. So the SAVE stands for S is for science, A is for activism, V is for volunteerism, and E is for education. So we have projects on citizen science, we have activism opportunities, volunteerism, and education. And that way, everyone from school children to faith leaders to mayors to corporate leaders can all have an opportunity to participate.
Could you go through the SAFE again, just a quick
Sure.
science, activism?
Science, activism, volunteerism, and education. So the Citizen Science Project is called Earth Challenge, and we will be launching mobile apps that'll help people do citizen science projects in their communities and help us track plastic pollution, water pollution, and insects and other environmental challenges. The Activism is our Earthrise campaign on April 22nd, 2020. We want everyone to get out on the streets and have their voices heard for their leaders on climate change. The V is volunteerism. We have a great global cleanup that people can sign up for. And finally, education is for teachers and campus leaders to do teach-ins so that they can participate and learn and engage in civic action that way.
So that acronym really sums up a huge part of what the movement are focusing on. Now, the theme of today, as you said, is, or you didn't say it, but I'm saying it now, it's climate action. And if you go to the website, you can actually see a countdown or a count up. So where you're collecting climate actions, people are taking action. Could you help us understand how do you count those, and
Sure.
what kind of actions are we talking about?
Absolutely, absolutely. We launched our Billion Acts of Green campaign actually quite a while ago because we found it was a really effective way for individuals to show the impact that an individual can have in the aggregate. And we offer, again, different opportunities for people to act. So you can register an act of green, for example, by planting trees with our canopy project, or you can do something in your personal life. There are different ways, for example, getting involved in our End Plastic Pollution campaign and making a choice in your personal lifestyle. You can get engaged by doing an act of green related to climate and transportation. And we also have a really exciting plant-based diet campaign, which is encouraging people to use less meat and focus more on a plant-based diet. So we offer people a lot of choices in the ways that they can do an act of green.
That's excellent. And you're already ticking up towards the goal will be before April 2000, April the 22nd. 3.5 billion actions is the goal, right? And now we're at 2.6 billion.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we have some other big goals too. You know, we want to get millions of people involved, 500 million, I think, people involved in our teaching. We want to get, you know, millions involved in our Earthrise climate strikes. We want to get also people planting trees. We wanted to plant 7.8 billion trees. And we're working with a number of large partners to do that. But tree planting is so important, not only for the carbon offsets, but in communities. It helps provide income and nourishment and other economic and ecological benefits. So there are, as I said, a lot of different ways people can tackle this problem of climate change.
Since we're on the topic of kind of volunteer and engagement, I'm guessing there will be multiple, as you said, multiple ways where people can join in, support in any ways. Is there anything that you are excited about when people are really, when people want to contribute? Anything that excites you that people listening to this might want to contribute with?
Sure. So we've launched our maps on our website at earthday.org. And what's really exciting is to see not only on the counters, but the events on the maps that people are going to be doing. So whether you're organizing a climate strike or a cleanup or some other activity for Earth Day, we encourage you again to go to earthday.org and register your event, because that's showing the world what's happening, but it's also a way where you can attract other volunteers and others to join in your efforts in your community.
So you're actually offering people people who are anyway going to do this, they just upload their events and then they could get support back.
Absolutely. So it helps us show the world what's happening, but it also helps them recruit other volunteers and get people to sign up for their events again. So whether it's a cleanup or a climate strike, there's lots of different ways that, you know, people can show in their communities what's happening and get the attention that they need to make their event successful.
One day a year, it's the Earth Day, and that's, for example, you would have the Earth Hour. I'm guessing you said something about you want people to go out, do climate actions on the street, some kind of activism, Earth Rise. Was that it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just like we did in 1970, and I think that's what really made a difference politically, small p politically, in convincing our legislative and executive branch to really move forward on environmental legislation and community engagement. We need to do that again because we don't have the laws and the policies and the political will right now that we need globally to take on climate change.
Oh, okay. So you're saying a really vital part would be advocacy and then change some other legislations.
Yeah, and I think it sends a signal not only to our government leaders, but also to our business leaders and other leaders who have an impact on climate. It's such a complicated issue that we really need to have not only government leaders, but we need our business leaders to see that climate is a priority and that the public really wants business to take a stand and participate and help.
So naturally, the 22nd of April, there will be a lot of things. If you want to engage and just be a part of that day, then it would be almost hard to not see what you can do, right? And
absolutely.
How about we spend some time to talk about the other days of the year? I'm guessing the Earth Day Network is doing other things as well outside of just this specific day. Could you elaborate a little bit on that one?
Sure. So as I mentioned, for example, we have a plant-based diet campaign and an end plastic pollution campaign. All those campaigns are active year-round, and we have all sorts of tools that people can use every day to help improve and green their lifestyles. We have calculators, for example, that you can look at how much plastic waste you generate and how to reduce that. In our plant-based diet, we have ideas of how you can make the transition and learn from other people about the impact and the connection between meat and climate. So all of these acts of greens, it's helpful if people do it on Earth Day, but we need for them to be adopted year-round. And so our resources are available for everyone to download and use 365 days a year.
Have I understood the concept correct? If Earth Day could always be seen as a countdown clock, so the whole year we're counting actions that it's adding up to that final day on April, and then from after April 22nd you would reset that clock and then you count for the next year.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to look at it. Earth Day is a day of accounting, and it's also a great day to make new commitments. Earth Day has traditionally been an opportunity for example, for local political leaders to announce new commitments. So the same thing can be true. It's like New Year's when you make a resolution. Earth Day can be a day when you take account and look at, well, what impact am I having on the planet, and what can I do in the next year to really make a difference, and make a pledge. Another big thing that we're looking at for this year is voting for the Earth. People's vote, political vote, has an impact in who you vote for. So this year there are major elections in I think 60 countries around the world. And of course, there's elections every year at the local level. So people really need to think about, how is my vote this year going to impact the planet? How are my candidates going to take action? And think about that.
I love that metaphor. Earth Day is a climate new year. It really says a lot. And how is my vote this year going to impact the environment? I also like that one.
Great.
Now, is there anything that you think most people don't know about either the environment or the Earth Day network that you would like for more people to understand?
Well, I think people don't realize that there is an organization, an amazing organization behind Earth Day, and it's a network. It's a true network. We have a headquarters in DC, but we have organizers all over the world, and they're doing an amazing job. We have people, in, for example, in India, in 40 states in India, and they're working with faith leaders in India and teachers in India. So Earth Day is something that's already on the calendar, but there are a lot of people working on the ground to really activate all of these campaigns this year.
So the concept of the network is so, it's not just individual, it's the individuals together in a sense. That could be a...
Absolutely, yeah. And we want everyone to join, not just environmental organizations, but any kind of civic organization. Any group can organize a cleanup or a teach-in. You don't have to be an expert in the environment to participate in our campaign.
So you're saying, actually we're getting close to the end, so I don't want to elaborate too much, but just, are you saying that if I work at a company and I would like my company to do more for the environment, I could somehow connect my company to this organization?
Absolutely. You know, you can look at our resources and share them with your colleagues, and we have campaigns that can be used by all sorts of organizations. And if we don't, let us know and we'll create them. We want everyone, as I said, our goal is to get to consistently build the movement and to bring in new people. And we're always looking, as I say, for new ways to connect, whether it's through mobile technology or other different ways of communication. We even did a game at one point with Angry Birds to try to engage new audiences on climate change.
Thank you so much for taking the time here today. We're about to finish here, and I would like to give you the last opportunity if you want to say something. I'm going to reinforce that the earthday.org, if you go to earthday.org, that will be the website that we're talking about. So Susan, anything you want to end this interview with?
Sure, thank you. I just want to say April 22nd is a really pivotal moment for the planet. We hope everyone will raise their voices and participate in a meaningful way. And I think we really appreciate the individual action, and people should not underestimate what they can do as an individual to help the